people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to yet another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. News, events, and stories abound in the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program in order to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. And let's go through the highlights of today's report. In Rivers State, Fubara assures protesters Tinubu will address labor problems. In Gombe State, reps urge federal government to probe strange killer disease. And Social Security, federal government sets up consumer credit program. And the presidency, Tinubu sets up advisory committee to salvage the economy. We'll take a very short break, and when we return, we go straight into the details. Please stay tuned.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human trafficker.
Honorable
Welcome back, and now we dive into the details for today. In view of the ongoing nationwide Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara says that the President Bola Tinubu has the required ability to address the concerns raised by the organized labor to alleviate their apprehensions. During a visit by members of the NLC who halted their two-day protest in front of the government house in Port Harcourt, Governor Fubara conveyed his optimism regarding President Tinubu's willingness to consider and address the issues presented by the labor union. Represented by Dr. George Nweke, the head of the Rivers State Civil Service, Governor Fubara underscored the grievances outlined by the protesters, who primarily fell within the purview of the federal government. Governor Fubara further assured the protesters that his administration remained committed to alleviating the economic hardships faced by the people of Rivers State, and highlighted initiatives such as the provision of palliative buses in response to the fuel subsidy removal and ongoing development of 20,000 housing units for low-income earners, and also emphasizes administration's dedication to improving the welfare of civil servants, citing measures such as the employment of 10,000 youths into the state civil service, promotions, and the provision of bonuses.
I want to assure you that whatever will affect you is already thinking about it. May God help every person here, even those that are not employed, their opportunity is coming. Apart from 10,000 people that are unemployed, may many other people we've employed in other sectors that are still in the pipeline. I can assure you that there will be fair play to every person. This suffering is for a while. Whereas others in other states will be saying that there's a casting down, we in Rivers State will be saying there shall be a all Rivers State. Let God help all of us in Rivers State to continue to support this governor. So whatever we need to do, we will do them for you.
Addressing the labor demands outlined by NLC, Rivers State Chairman Alex Agwanwo, Governor Fubara affirmed the significance of the issues raised and reiterated his commitment to prioritizing the welfare of workers in the state.
So I will bring you greetings from the Nigerian Labour Congress, Nigerian workers under the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress and its various organs. Subsequent to the recent nationwide protests called by the National Executive Council of the Nigerian Labour Congress, it is our considered opinion that we write to you at this time of great national distress that has left a huge majority of the citizenry and workers massively impoverished and hungry. We believe that together we can cooperate, programs and policies that will not only help reduce the suffering on the people, but will also create a functional path out of this morass, which the crushing weight of unmitigated inflation and the hardship has imposed on us.
In response to the protest, Governor Fubara also gave assurances that and acknowledgement of the labor union's concerns to underscore a dialogue-driven approach to addressing the challenges faced by workers amidst ongoing economic uncertainties. The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt has fixed March 18, 2024 to hear a suit seeking to sack the 27 members of the Assembly who defected from People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress. The 27 lawmakers led by the Speaker Martin Amehule are loyal to the immediate past Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, and they defected from the PDP to the APC at the height of political crisis between Wike and the incumbent governor Siminalayi Fubara. The suit seeking to sack them was filed by the Rivers State civil service organizations, while the plaintiff is contending that the provisions of Section 109 of the 1999 Constitution and the lawmakers must lose their seats in the Assembly, having abandoned the party on which they were elected into the legislature. The suit was adjourned as Presiding Judge Justice Stephen Daylong Palm was said to be away for a judges' conference and therefore adjourned till March the 18th. The immediate past Minister of Petroleum Timipri Silva in Abuja appeared before the Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal to testify against the declaration of Governor Doye Diri as the winner of the November 11, 2023 governorship elections in Bayelsa State. Silva, who was the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress at the gubernatorial poll, testified as a star witness in his petition seeking nullification of the declaration of Diri as the elected governor. A hearing notice showed that the APC governorship candidate would be led in evidence by his lead counsel, Ahmed Raji, and Ogu James Onoja, both senior advocates of Nigeria. The former minister is expected to narrate to the tribunal his own side of the story on the last gubernatorial elections, while Governor Diri, the winner of the elections and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, would, after after Silva's evidence cross-examined him on the veracity of the claims and allegations the witness may raise. Governor Diri is being represented at the tribunal by a team of senior lawyers led by Chris Uche, while the Independent National Electoral Commission, which conducted the disputed election, will also be permitted to cross-examine the APC governorship candidate on his allegations against the election. According to the returning officer, Professor Farouk Kuta, PDP and Diri polled 175,196 votes, and APC scored 110,108 votes. There's more news, but don't forget you can connect with us and watch us on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. On Twitter, we're on Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Moving on, the Delta State House of Assembly has passed the State Merit Award Bill. This development followed the adoption of the reports of the House Joint Committee on Information and Special Committee at plenary in Asaba. House Leader and Chairman of the committee, Mr. Emeka Nwobi, said that the bill sought to give recognition to the indigenes of the state, whether dead or alive, who had exceptionally excelled in their chosen careers, adding that individuals who are still in service may not get such recognition. The Speaker praised the lawmakers for speedy passage of the bill while expressing sincere gratitude for contributions towards the passage of the bill. Police in Anambra State, working in concert with the community vigilante operatives, have arrested 4 persons connected to the killing of the community leader in the state. Mr. Silas Onyima, the President General of Umoji community in Idemili North local government area of the state, was last weekend killed in his home. Spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, said 4 suspects have been arrested while 4 other accomplices are now being hunted for by the police. He also said the Commissioner of Police, CP Aderemi Adeoye, commended the police in Ogidi and Umoji vigilante for working together to apprehend the suspected perpetrators, and has directed the State Criminal Investigation Department to deploy its forensic team to take over investigations. 3 persons were confirmed drowned while 11 were rescued after a passenger boat capsized along Ibesh-Korodu Channel. According to eyewitnesses, the incident occurred when the boat suddenly developed a mechanical fault. The Permanent Secretary of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Femi Oke Osanyintolu, who confirmed the incident, said that the agency responded to distress calls concerning the passenger boat which took off from Adax Jetty around 7 p.m. It was gathered that the Laoswa and relevant agencies and authorities have begun investigation into the cause of the mishap. The chairman of Conference of Speakers of State Houses of Assembly, Adebo Ogundoyin, is calling on members of the National Assembly to ensure that the reviewed constitution reflects the yearnings of Nigerians. Ogundoyin, who doubles as the Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly, said that many Nigerians have identified faults in the current constitution and urged members of the Senate and the House of Representatives to ensure that the reviewed constitution addresses the yearnings of the ordinary citizens. He disclosed this at the declaration of the inauguration of the House of Representatives Constitution Review Committee in Abuja, while the need to review the constitution again became necessary due to deficiencies in current constitution. He said it is important to appreciate and understand the true reflection of the nation's diversities and complexities to better address the current issues, realities and challenges ordinary Nigerians face daily. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde joined the state chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress in its peaceful protest. During the protest, Makinde assured the protesters that the current hardship will soon be over, while the workers began the protest from the NLC State Secretariat, Agodi in Ibadan, the state capital, down to Gates, NTA, Yemetu roundabout, where Governor Makinde joined the protesting workers. Earlier, the state NLC chairman, Kayode Martins, said that the cost of living was no longer bearable, especially for the common man. Pastor in charge of Celestial Church of Christ, Grace of Comfort Parish, Omitolo, in Osun State, Maurice Fadehun, has been murdered inside his church by one of his assistants, Lekon Ogundipe. Eyewitnesses said that the suspect drew the attention of people to the presence of partly burnt remains of the pastor inside the church, while Ogundipe, after committing the act, ran to the house of the founder of the church, whose name could not be immediately ascertained, and told him that the fire was burning the pastor. And police deployed to the scene subsequently arrested the suspect. It was not immediately clear the issues between Ogundipe and Fadehun that could have led to the murder of the deceased, but a reliable source said Fadehun has retrieved keys to the church from the suspect after he assaulted the prophetess. When contacted, the Osun Police Command Public Relations Officer Yemisi Opalola confirmed the incident, adding that the command has commenced investigations into the matter. Troops of the Nigerian Army have successfully rescued 10 passengers on board a bus kidnapped while traveling from Calabar to Abuja in Kogi State. A statement by Army headquarters said that the rescue operation took place at Ogugu community along Enugu-Kogi Road in Olamaboro local government area of Kogi State, where the gallant troops diligently tracked and engaged the armed gang in a firefight, compelling them to relinquish their hostages. The Nigerian Army also said it remains committed to ensuring the safety and security of citizens and will continue to conduct operations to sanitize troubled areas and maintain peace and stability in the country. Zamfara State House of Assembly has suspended 8 lawmakers for alleged misconduct, conspiracy, mischief, and illegal sitting. The suspension was announced by the Speaker of the House, Billy Aminu Moriki, at the Assembly's plenary in Gusau, which followed the motion moved by the Majority Leader, Bello Mazawaje, adding that the lawmakers' suspension was permitted based on the violation of the Assembly's Order 10, Rule 9. He also said the suspended members broke the doors to the office of the clerk and sergeant-at-arms of the Assembly and conducted an unlawful sitting, and also blocked some members from gaining access to the Assembly chambers, and urged the lawmakers to agree with the motion to suspend the 8 members for alleged contempt of the House, conspiracy, conducting illegal sitting, mischief, and misconduct. Contributing to the motion, the Deputy Speaker of the House, Adamu Aliyu, described the attitude of the lawmakers as unfortunate and must be sanctioned in order to maintain law and order in the legislative process in the state. The Chief Whip to the House, Rilwanu Marafa, described the conduct of the alleged illegal sitting by the lawmakers as a disgrace to the Assembly and called on his colleagues to take disciplinary actions against the lawmakers. About 7 persons are feared dead following a cult war between rival groups in the North Bank area of Makurdi, Benue State capital. This is coming after victims were killed in different parts of the North Bank suburb during a violent clash between the Black Axe and Red Confraternity. A vigilante commander in the area, Nura Shara, said that the casualty in the ongoing war is enormous, as one of the victims was beheaded and his head taken away, including a commercial motorcyclist also lost his life. Also speaking, North Bank Market Chairman Ordinaka said that the rival cult groups have turned the market to a battlefield where they come to fight. Police Public Relations Officer SP Catherine Nene, who confirmed the incident, said that they deployed officers to the areas, but she does not have information on the number of casualties. Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has admitted that the government is aware of the sufferings of residents of the state and other Nigerians. He made this remark while addressing the organized labor during the protests at the government house in Makurdi, who were carrying various placards to convey their grievances over the harsh economic realities of the governor. The governor, represented by his chief of staff, Mr. Bo Biam, assured them that their grievances will be transmitted to President Bola Tinubu, adding that Nigerians were passing through tough times, but assured that efforts were on to to ameliorate their pains. Speaking earlier, the state chairman, the Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Terungwa Igbe, said that Nigerians are passing through untold hardship as a result of economic policies initiated by the federal government, while decrying prices of goods that had skyrocketed to the extent that items were sold at different rates depending on the time of the day. He also said that the high cost of living had affected the workers seriously and urged President Bola Tinubu to urgently initiate and implement policies that will alleviate the sufferings of the masses. The House of Representatives is calling on the federal government to investigate and curtail the spread of an unidentified disease that has killed some persons in Nafada local government area of Gombe State. The House has immediately asked the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare as a matter of emergency to urgently deploy its personnel to verify the nature of the disease, while urging the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention to put up surveillance measures to contain the spread of the disease and ensure that adequate treatment is extended to affected victims. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion under the matters of urgent public importance moved by Abdullahi El Rashid, member representing Duku Nafada Federal Constituency, Gombe State. While moving the motion, lamented the outbreak of the yet-to-be-identified disease that is gradually spreading across communities in Nafada local government area of Gombe State. Further said that the disease has claimed the lives of youths and children within the affected communities in the last few days, stressing that the number of victims continues to increase rapidly, thereby instilling fear and apprehension in the affected communities. He listed the symptoms of the disease to include severe headache, stomach pain, vomiting, and very small stool and leg pain, leading to victims to severe overall body pain before their ultimate death. He said the Gombe State Primary Healthcare Development Agency has deployed more health personnel to support the existing staff members of the Nafada General Hospital with a view to averting the spread of the disease and extending medical attention to affected victims. Adopting the motion, the House mandated the Committees on Healthcare Services and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. The police in Kano State has conducted raids and arrested 9 suspected illegal forex hawkers. The raid was conducted in collaboration with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Nigerian Customs Service. The raid was carried out at the Wapa Borough de Fage local government area behind CBN office, Nasarawa local government Central Hotel, Bompai Road, Nasarawa local government area, Ashton Road, Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kufa Ruwa Motor Park, Dawanau International Grains Market, the Wakin Tofa local government area. Spokesperson of the command, SP Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, who confirmed the arrest, in a statement said the essence of the operation was to arrest those elements in order to stabilize the foreign exchange market in the country, adding that the objective was not to arrest genuine bureau de change operators who carry out their legitimate businesses in their offices. The State Commissioner of Police, CP Muhammad Hussaini Gumel, also advised all individuals and business operators within the financial sector to operate within the confines of the law and obtain the necessary licenses. You are watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this very short break. Please stay with us.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
There's no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought a very family. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You are a human.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You are a human.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
so no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Now to the rest of our stories. President Nigerian Labour Congress Joe Ajaero has handed over the letter containing demands of the workers to the National Assembly. The demands included full implementation of the welfare provisions, employment generation, immediate subsidy to farmers to boost agricultural production, and fixing the 4 refineries, amongst others. Ajaero, while handing over the letter to the chairman of the Senate Committee on Employment and Productivity, Senator Dick, backed on a peaceful protest because there was hunger in the land, adding that Nigeria is becoming like Zimbabwe and the minimum wage negotiations have started, but the amount was yet to be decided. He also said that the protest will serve as a signal to the federal government to immediately tackle the challenges bedeviling the country, and assured the protesters that the demands of the NLC will be given attention. The Nigerian Labour Congress in Abuja protested against the economic hardship, insecurity and poverty in the country. The protest, which took place from the Labour House of Abuja to the National Assembly, was aimed at informing the government that Nigerians can no longer wait for promises that are not forthcoming.
We are protesting for the insecurity in Nigeria, and what is happening hungry in Nigeria for the people. So therefore, we, Nigeria Labour Congress, we are now fighting for the president to do something on it quickly before the thing go wrong.
At the National Assembly, the NLC president called on governments to hear the cries of masses by ending hardship in the country. While receiving NLC letter to the National Assembly, the committee chairman on labor and employment said NLC message will be discussed with immediate effects.
We are here because there is hunger in the land. In the last 1 week, there was a struggle for us to come to the street. And the struggle has proved that the workers will own the land. Correct, are you with me? History will not forgive us if with the level of hunger in this country, we refuse to protest to tell the government of the day that there is hunger. It is important that all of us take something home, that this is not just a symbolic rally, but it is a rally to signal to the people in authority that there is problem in the land. People are dying of hunger. People are dying of banditry. Insecurity is everywhere. Kidnapping is everywhere. You kidnap a poor man, you ask for millions. Where is he going to get the millions? You can't produce food in the country if there's banditry. People are no longer going to their farms. They will not hear it. For me and you are here talking together to tell them that I'm with you. Now, and nobody will blame us for not telling the people that there is hunger in the land. This is our duty, and we will not just stand and go and rest. There is hunger in this land. All of employment and productivity, and the House of Reps chairman of the House Committee on Labor, Employment and Productivity, on behalf of the 360 members of the House of Reps, to collect your letter. We understand with you, our chairman. We feel what you feel. We want to assure you that this letter, will be discussed immediately at the plenary session.
It's no longer news that Nigerians are suffering for so many things. Is it hunger? Is it insecurity? It is on this note the Nigerian Labour Congress took it upon themselves to protest from the Labour House in Abuja to the National Assembly, where they call on government to end hunger, to end poverty, to end insecurity. Joseph Moses, ATN News, Abuja. Indoor meetings between the federal government of Nigeria and the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, have come and gone on the day-to-day rising high cost of living, where government has kept promising Nigerians for a better tomorrow. Yet hardship keep increasing every day and thereby making life unbearable. Today being 26 February 2024 in Abuja, the Congress took off rallies from Labour House to National Assembly protesting against economic hardship in Nigeria.
They have all acknowledged that they are suffering, but they are saying, give us patience. And we are saying, if we give you all that patience, or everybody may die before that time. Do something now. That's the only difference. There's nobody that doesn't know that Indomie is almost 16,000 a carton, 17,000. That a bag of rice is almost 70,000. They all know. But we're now looking at the timing. You know, we need
a short-term intervention before what you say you are going to do the next 1 year. People have to be alive before they benefit from it.
We are protesting. We're here. Various unions group are here protesting the costs of living in Nigeria. There's hungry in the land. The food stuffs in the market have skyrocketed. An average citizen cannot afford it.
As you all know, Nigeria is no more a country of the poor. Nigeria is a country of the riches. Nigeria is a country of anger. Leaders, they need to understand that nothing is well, that we are not happy.
The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has confirmed that its operatives, in a continued effort against banditry in the nation's capital city in its environs, and after acting on credible intelligence, stormed the Sadwana Forest, Toto, Nasarawa State, and arrested one kidnap kingpin, Habu Ibrahim, who has been on the wanted list of the command for a long time and had a bounty placed on his head by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike. The suspect is one of the two kidnappers, the Honorable Minister placed a bounty on, namely Saidu Abdul Kadir, aka Dahiru Adamu, who had earlier been arrested by the command. This is coming after the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike emphasized that he will be released if Nigerians fish them out from whoever they are, dead or alive. A statement in Abuja, the FCT Police Public Relations Officer SP Josephine Ade, while confirming the arrest of Samaila, said that he confessed that his syndicate masterminded and executed several kidnappings in FCT and its environs, including the abduction of a barrister. President Bola Tinubu said that the decision taken to remove subsidy on petrol was a challenging one, but necessary to ensure a transparent and accountable energy sector. The president, who spoke at the opening of the 2024 Nigeria International Energy Summit in Abuja, acknowledged that the decision had led to the hardship, especially amongst low-income earners, assuring that eventually the economy will improve and the benefits will manifest. Represented by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, Tinubu said the energy security was a priority for his administration, while the petroleum subsidy was over the years strained the economic resources of Nigeria, leading to inefficiencies and, most importantly, hindering the ability to invest in critical areas of energy security. Therefore, in parallel with the subsidy removal, my administration is committed to implementing social interventions programs to mitigate the short-term effects of vulnerable populations, adding that the programs will ensure that the burden of subsidy removal is shared equitably and that the most vulnerable amongst us are protected. The federal government said it will extend its social security payments to graduates with qualifications from NCE and upwards. Speaking after the Federal Executive Council meeting, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, disclosed that the program would give the unemployed Nigerians a better standard of life, saying that the federal government will urgently establish a consumer credit scheme to alleviate the pains of economic adjustment, and explained that the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, will lead a committee that includes the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, the Attorney General of the Federation, and himself, the Coordinating Minister of the Economy. Edun also spoke on the review implemented by Special Presidential Panel on the National Social Investment Program, which has been submitted a preliminary report to the President, adding that the President gave the highlights to the Council meeting and a review of existing mechanisms where there have been successes, such as the 400,000 beneficiaries of the JEEP program. On his part, the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, explained that beneficiaries will be vetted through the bank verification number and national identity numbers to avoid multiple payouts to one individual. President Bola Tinubu has reassured all Nigerians that his administration will put a Marshall Plan in place and fashion out the best economic future for the country. Expressing concern over the welfare of ordinary Nigerians, Tinubu stressed the need for government at all levels to ensure that such persons were not disappointed. Speaking on the development Atlantic television blowout, a public affairs analyst, Oscar Savior, frowned at the development and blamed the poor economic situation on poor governance, which he described as a sad omen.
It's so sad. Should I call it a sad reality that at this point where Nigerians should be thinking of how to go forward, we are still retrogressing and then still not thinking of about how the 200 million or something Nigerians will live up to expectations and then live beyond the poverty line. It becomes a sad situation that every government or most of the government that have been in place in Nigeria, the first thing they think about is how to impoverish Nigerians, make the poorer become more poorer, and make the richer becomes more richer than expected. It has become a sad reality. Why our mothers and fathers and ourselves suffered in abject poverty in the village, why we find it difficult to make ends meet. Some people throw food around to dogs. Some people go to the dustbin to pick food from the backyard of a rich man. That's the kind of sad situation we face in this country. It's unfortunate that up to this moment, 21st century, that Nigeria government have not decided to set up a standard on how to make Nigerians better than the way it is now. It is no longer a competitive sector. Actually, it was supposed to be a competitive sector that any government that was in place should think of how to do better than the previous government.
Speaking further, he called on public office holders across the nation to be selfless and uphold the tenets of loyalty and service to Nigeria.
What we think about in Nigerians is if you do not loot from this other ministry or this other sector, that means you omitted the looting process. So you think about how you're going to loot and then make yourself richer than the people you represent. Okay. And that is why in our country today, the situation we practice is so sad that you see a government official be buying a property where you ask yourself, where do you have such a salary to acquire such a wealth? And nobody questions the wealth of any big man or political leaders in Nigeria, because it is assumed that once you become the aims of affair in this country, the first thing you do is how to acquire wealth for yourself, for your generation, unborn generation, and generation unborn. What? Now look at the people that the president has appointed. All right. And now look at their criteria and their credibilities. Are they actually people that have set a standard ever since even those that belong to private sector? Do they have a standard for themselves? It's unfortunate that even the people that are supposed to be held responsible at this point in time, what we are looking at is they are just standing on the same level of failed system. What happens to our agency that was set up in place to investigate and arrest, investigate and prosecute those that are supposed to?
The Senate has confirmed the appointment of Hafsat Bakari as the director of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit. The confirmation followed the report submitted to the chamber by the Senate Committee Chairman on Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, Emmanuel Memga Udende. The chairman explained that the nominee of President Bola Tinubu appeared for screening and has been found fit and competent, given her wealth of experience, while the nominee rose from a lower cadre to the top and traversed through the intelligence agencies where she performed creditably, adding that there was no unsavory report or petition in any form against her nomination. In his contribution, the Senate representing Borno North Senatorial District, Muhammad Tahiru Mungono, lauded the committee for a detailed report which was made available earlier enough, urging the Senate to confirm the nominee based on her pedigree in service, adding that her nomination was a square peg in a square hole. And after other senators spoke favorably on the reports, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, passed the report and confirmed the nominee following the dissolution of the chamber into the Committee of Whole. The National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has urged Nigerians to engage with the Constitution Committee in order to contribute ideas and perspectives to constitution reviews, as the input of citizens are valuable to constitution reform. The Deputy Speaker and Committee Chairman on Constitution Review, Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, said this in a welcome address during the National Assembly House of Representatives Committee on Construction Review inauguration ceremony and citizens engagement program in Abuja.
As we gather here today, it is important to highlight the areas that are currently at the forefront based on the bill proposals we have received so far. Some of them include the establishment of state police, state access to mines, increased participation of women in politics, clear specification of the taxes and levies to be collected by each tier of government, and the provision for the office of the Mayor of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, amongst others. Several bills proposals that were passed but did not make the President's assent during the 5th constitutional alteration has been brought back, and they include powers to the National Assembly and State Assembly to summon the President and state governors, and requirements of the government to direct policies towards ensuring the rise to food and food security. This highlights the dynamic nature of the Constitution review process. I urge you to visit www.hccr.gov.ng to engage with the Constitution Review Committee and to contribute your ideas and perspectives to this vital process. I want to emphasize that our doors are wide open for robust and constructive deliberations as we engage today and in the days that follow. Your input, your insights, your perspectives, they are invaluable as we navigate the path towards constitutional reform. Let us approach this task with open minds and collaborative spirit, knowing that together we can shape a future that reflects the aspirations and the dreams of all Nigerians.
The Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who was represented by the Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin, said the National Assembly was reminded of the responsibilities upon their shoulders to lead people and Constitution is to enforce democracy, justice, and equality of the nation's standards.
As we inaugurate the House Representatives Committee on the amendments of the 1999 Constitution, we are reminded of the profound responsibility that rests upon our shoulders as legislators of the people. This committee's task is not just a matter of legal review, but is a duty to enhance the framework that governs our collective aspirations, rights, and duties as citizens of this great country. It is an important opportunity to reinforce the pillars of democracy, justice, and equity that our nation stands on. The amendments we are set to deliberate upon carry the potential to shape our country's future, to make our governance more inclusive, our institutions more robust, and our society more equitable.
While in his goodwill message, Executive Director, Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, Clement Wankwo, stressed that the local government reforms, state policing reforms, and the women in politics reforms are still serious, outstanding issues.
So delighted to see both the Deputy Speaker, the Deputy Senate President articulate very clearly a timeline of under 24 months for achieving reform of the Constitution. There are still very serious outstanding issues. Local government reforms remains a major issue in this country, that local governments are subjugated to states and not allowed to deliver on development that is promised when local government reforms happen in this country. We're yet to get those reforms. There is a new debate today about nature of policing. Some say state police. We have to address how this country can be very well policed and how we can deliver on security to our people, such that we do not, in creating state police, hand over the present deficiencies with policing from the national right down to state levels. A state police controlled by governors would not help with our national security concerns. They could in fact endanger human rights if we do not clearly define the nature of policing that we are discussing when we talk of state police. There are still outstanding other issues, devolution of powers, electoral reform, and our sister Eugenia talked about women. The special seats for women bill, Your Excellencies, are still pending in the National Assembly. We cannot have a situation where we have just about 16 or 13 women in the House of Representatives and only 4 senators. This is not speaking well of Nigeria at all. If we have a 469-member National Assembly and we have under 30 of these members just women, I think that if the National Assembly was to make a huge statement about this reform, it must clearly define for Nigerians how we can harness the effectiveness and resource that women possess as about equal number of population. So it is something that the National Assembly must consider.
The House of Representatives has urged the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria not to implement the controversial revised guidelines for verification dated February 2nd, 2023, pending the investigation by the House. The resolution was taken by the Green Chamber following the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance by Honorable Patrick Umor. Leading the debate on the motion, the lawmaker, who frowned on the circumstances surrounding the revised regulations, noted that the revised guidelines, amongst others, stipulated the applicants for verification must have a minimum of 2 years post-qualification experience from the date of issuance of a permanent practice license and obtain a letter of good standing from the Chief Executive Officer of the applicant's place of work and last training institution attended, and that the processing of the applications shall take a minimum of 6 months. And this is where we wrap it up on this edition of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. But do well to stay connected with us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, on X, formerly Twitter, Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I am Raymond Ken Mbata. Thank you for watching.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
is on the path to its proposed expansion, so no agreement with the EU, but
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought a very family. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.